Podcast.
Jebuth. Leadership. Are you capable? Have you been? Do you strive to be a leader? How are leaders viewed from those who are not in the forefront of a leadership type role? I think I have been blessed with many types of leadership roles, and my biggest way of showing that to the world, or to those who are following the leader, is to lead by example. Do what other people will. Don't just say do stuff, help them. And then all the little things that go along with it, such as punctuality. I think that is probably the easiest and number one. If you're punctual, you say you're going to be somewhere, be there at that time a little bit early. If you live in LA, you say you're going to be there sometime, leave so early that you get there real early and not real late. And just be on the dot. I just say it's the easiest because you can kind of control it, especially with apps and phones and clocks and tickers and calendars. You definitely can, set alarms and stuff just to be where you got to be, plan ahead, map it out, get there, and create the phone call, be at the meeting, shake hands, be where you say you're going to be. It's super easy, in theory, obviously without speed bumps. But if you're always punctual and then you're just not punctual once or twice, people will know it's not because you're just some lackadaisical dude. It's because something came up that made it, flow off. Second, truth. Be truthful. There's ways to deliver the truth in which it will help people understand it more than if you lied to them to get something done. If you can be truthful, and your followers or whoever, I don't like using that word followers because it sounds kind of weird or cultish, but basically the people that you are leading will know that you're being truthful and respect that. Again, what goes right back into that is respect. Respect is an asset. It is also a commodity. Leadership demands respect, but demand respect, you have to be respectful. You have to give respect. So all these things are kind of reciprocated with punctuality, truth, and being respectful. So if you can kind of do those things and do it not aggressively, but do it in such a way that is on Front Street, everybody can see, and they know that's kind of how you get down, are great pillars of leadership. There are always the negativity of leadership, the having to bring stuff up that sucks, bringing up uncomfortability, communicate that in a way that doesn't make people hate you, but usually somebody's got to do it. They ask the leader to do it, or the leader asks somebody else who's next in line to usually help. Firm believer that you put 10 dudes in a room, one's going to step up as the leader. It's just how things go down, human nature. It's not saying that leaders can't turn into non-leaders, and people that obviously are not leaders will become leaders either through being anointed through a third party, like, hey, you're the leader now, or wanting that, or just, showing the tenacity to be a leader. There's also, powerful things that come along with it. I mean, the ability to change people's lives, improves people's lives. Be a role model to push forward humanity. People look forward, leadership in organizations, companies, corporations, teams, music, art, conversation, romance, relationships, family. And it's important. I think it's not talked about enough. It's not taught to the youth enough. People are kind of complacent. Oh, I'm not a leader. Let me find the leader. But independence, leadership, showing through actions, create the top of the mountain mound. That being said, you can be a leader. If you are not one already, you can be. If you choose not to be, that's fine as well. If you are one, you can be a better leader. You can study, you can talk, conversate, and find the best tactics and techniques to be the best you at that position. And it could be anything, any genre, any industry, any conversation, room full of criminals, whatever. Be the best leader in that moment, that situation, that spurt of a second. And then step down if it's not called for. I think everything kind of comes to an end anyway. Life is cyclical, seasons are cyclical, summer ends and it gets cold. Leadership kind of the same way. People live a biological life and then that deceases and turns to dust. I think leadership's the same way. I mean, you never see 100-year-old leaders. I'm thinking, right when I said that, I'm thinking the Queen of England or whatever. And I don't know her role, if she is a leader. I mean, she's obviously the leader because she's the queen, but I don't know what she's doing to be. Is she just born into it? That's totally different. And she's kind of at that point where I think she should probably hand over the car keys, let the next dude roll. She's been in it so long, I don't know if it's an ego thing now or something, but I mean, that's a totally different type of leadership. It's also abstract. There's one situation of that throughout the world, or not throughout the world, very minimal situations like that throughout the world. I don't know how many countries have kings and queens, or royalty or whatever, but I'm sure there's a few. Same thing with democracy. You vote a president in, he's the leader of the country for 8 years or 4 years, however long you keep him, and then we move on. But leadership can help. It can improve the world if we create more leaders. I mean, too many chiefs, not enough Indians? I don't think so. I think there's room for everybody to kind of step up and be their own personal, independent leader, their lives, their families, their finances, their job, their career, their music, their art, their picture drawing. Keep it real. Well, that being said, be the best you can be. Be the best you can be when nobody's looking. Try your hardest, do the best you can, and everything will fall into place. Stay smiling. It helps other people smile. Drink clean water. Eat good food. Walk, talk, and think a lot. Podcast,